All right. So if we don't have any questions, we'll run to the next unit. And this next unit is on the meaning of assurance. We just looked at the first unit on the meaning of audit. Now we want to look at the meaning of assurance. So audit is just one type of assurance. In fact, audit is a subset of assurance. So let me explain what I mean by that statement. And I'll start that with the simplest definition. You see, assurance actually means confidence. Now, in an assurance engagement, an assurance firm is engaged by one party to give an opinion on information prepared by another party. So the opinion expresses assurance about the information, giving the hiring party confidence that the information can be relied on. So think of assurance like a quality stamp on a product. When you see ISO certified in a product, you have confidence it meets certain standards. So the auditor's opinion gives that same confidence to financial statements. This is very important to take note of. So assurance can be provided by external audit, it can be provided by internal audit, can be provided by review engagements. So a statutory audit is one form of assurance. It adds credibility to financial statements, making information more reliable and useful to users. But you see, here is the important point. There are different levels of assurance. Not all assurance is equal. So let's look at this statement next. You remember these assurance concepts with COR mnemonic. Assurance gives confidence, means assurance provides confidence. O is opinion, it is expressed on information. R is reliable, assurance should be reliable, makes information reliable, very importantly. So let's look at the levels of assurance. This is one of the most important concepts to understand. You see, not all assurance are the same or is the same. There are different levels and they depend on the amount of work performed. So think about a car inspection. Now, reasonable assurance is like a mechanic putting your car on a lift, checking the brakes, the engine, the tire, everything. After a thorough inspection, the mechanic says, in my opinion, the car is roadworthy. You see, that is a form of conclusion. Now, limited assurance is like a quick walk around check, The mechanic doesn't put it on a lift, doesn't put your car on a lift. He doesn't check the engine. He just looks at the exterior. Then he says, nothing has come to my attention to suggest the car is not roadworthy. See, that's a negative form of assurance. You see, reasonable assurance is high level. It's not absolute, but the conclusion is in positive form. Like in our opinion, the accounts give a true and fair view. And that's what a statutory audit provides. But limited assurance is moderate level. You see, the conclusion is in negative form. Like nothing has come to our attention that causes us to believe the financial statements do not give a true and fair view. This is what a review engagement provides. So remember with this mnemonic, RL. R is reasonable, meaning it's high and is positive, while L is limited, is moderate and is negative. Now, what exactly does an audit provide? Now, what exactly does an audit provide? So let's clarify that. Let's clarify that briefly. You see, an audit provides reasonable assurance, a high but not absolute level of assurance. Let's distinguish between external and internal audit. External and internal audit. So external audit is performed by an appropriately qualified auditor. He's appointed by shareholders and is independent of a company. While internal audit is a function set up within an entity, it provides appraisal. Internal audit provides appraisal as a service to management, and is typically internal auditors are employees, though internal audits can be outsourced. Internal auditors can be outsourced. So think of external audit in this analogy as an external security guard hired by building owners. They are independent and report to the owners. Now think of internal audit like an internal security team hired by management. They report to management but still provide valuable checks. So the key point here is that Many practical auditing procedures are the same for both internal and external audit work. The difference is who they report to and who they are independent from. Who they report to and who they are independent from. This is very important. Now, what about reviews? What about reviews? So let's look at that. Let's look at that. So assurance provided by review, you can look at a review as a voluntary investigation that provides only moderate assurance, what we call limited assurance, So a review is a voluntary investigation that provides only moderate assurance, and we call that limited assurance. So let's use this security patrol analogy. And this analogy looks at an audit like a full sweep or full security sweep of a building. A review is like a security patrol walking through quickly. They are not checking anything, but they can say nothing obviously is wrong or nothing obviously wrong caught their attention, something like that. The concept of negative assurance, you see, the opinion in a review is expressed in negative form. It says nothing has come to our attention to suggest the information is misstated. And you see, when negative assurance is used, or why would we even use negative assurance? You see, we use it when an accountant cannot obtain sufficient evidence to provide positive assurance. That's what it means. So, for example, an accountant is reviewing a cash flow forecast. Now, the future is uncertain, so the auditor cannot provide positive assurance. They can, but they can provide negative assurance that nothing suggests from that review material errors. That's a negative assurance. So, to remember negative assurance, this mnemonic will help you with that. NOT, not. NOT, N stands for nothing has come to our attention. O is obviously wrong, and T is therefore no material errors. Very importantly. So now, let's look at what makes up an assurance engagement. What makes up an assurance engagement? And we'll be looking at that simply as the elements of an assurance engagement. So every assurance engagement has 5 key elements. So think of it as the anatomy of assurance engagement. Anatomy of assurance engagement. So let me give you a courtroom analogy to make it easier. So there's a 3-party relationship. Talking about the first one, a practitioner who is the audit firm. He's like the judge. Then a responsible party, the directors who prepare the financial statements, like the defendant. Then we have the independent users, talking about the shareholders, like the juries or the jury. Now we have the subject matter, talking about data being evaluated like financial statements, it's talking about the case files. Then we have suitable criteria, talking about the rules against which the subject matter is evaluated like the IFRS and our IAS, and also the company law, which is the law of the land. We also have the evidence, talking about the information used to reach the conclusion, talking about the evidence in court. Then we have assurance report, talking about the written opinion, the judge's verdict. So remember the 5 elements with this acronym, 3PSEA. 3P talks about the practitioner, the responsible party, and the intended users. That's the 3 parties. Then S talks about the subject matter. E talks about evidence, and A is the assurance report. So with this acronym, I believe you'll be able to remember under exam condition the subject of the elements of assurance engagement, very importantly. So now let's clarify the relationship between audit, assurance, and also attestation. Audit, assurance, and attestation. So the differences among these three is that these 3 terms are often used interchangeably, but you see, they are not exactly the same. So let me give you a hierarchy. So think of these concepts, 3 of them, like drinks. You see, assurance is like the word drink, and that's the broad and general term for drinks. Attestation is like juice. Juice is a specific type of drink, while audit is like orange juice, a very specific formal type of assurance. So assurance is the broad term covering all assignments where a practitioner gives an opinion on information prepared by another party. That's assurance. While attestation is an audit-related engagement, a review of data, agreed upon procedures, compilations. It includes statutory audit and similar engagements. All these are attestations. While an audit is a long-established formal process or long-established formalized processes, closely regulated by law and professional practice, it's designed to provide a high level of assurance. Very important to take note of these three fundamental concepts. So you can use the acronym to remember this hierarchy with AAA. Assurance is the broad term. The next A is attestation is the audit-related engagement, while the last A, audit, is the formal regulated process. The formal regulated process. So this brings us to the end of Unit 2. And before we move to the next unit, which is the third, and that is the regulatory framework for statutory audits. Do we have any questions? Any questions so far